Morning, it's the 10th of October 2018 and today is World Mental Health Day. So back in May we recorded a tribute to Avicii to try and help raise awareness for the mental health of musicians. And to mark the occasion today we wanted to release some more of the interviews that we conducted with some of our musicians, just to share their stories and to open the discussion and try and get people talking more about these issues.
The one thing which always stands out to me with mental health and mental illness, etc., is that nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to, let their friend know that, you're having a really bad time kind of thing. No one wants to express it. So communication with other people, with friends and reaching out to people is the hardest thing to do, and it's the most important thing to do.
I think what makes it so hard to discuss these issues is that a lot of these mental health problems come from very small, seemingly insignificant thoughts, and that can create an overall anxiety.
My attitude towards music changed quite a lot. You become more critical of yourself, being critiqued all the time, and offering up your critique to others, which is fine, it's part of it, you're always wanting to improve, but on that other hand, you just feel like it's never going to be good enough.
And we think that those thoughts are just little kind of silly, self-doubt, kind of natural thoughts, but the accumulation of these thoughts can result in problems like anxiety, which can lead to depression.
Anxiety is sort of future-based thinking, and you start worrying about things like money or who's the audience for this, how are people going to like it. All that can kind of add up, and then maybe it gets in the way of the present kind of stuff and just being fully absorbed in what you're doing.
Looking at things on social media is really difficult, I think, for musicians' anxiety. You're just about to go to sleep at night and then you see that a friend of yours has just done a gig somewhere exciting in New York or somewhere like that, and you think, oh, they've just won that competition, and actually it puts you off, and you've got to try really hard to blank it out and think, no, it's what they're doing, it's not what I'm doing.
I mean, what we do naturally results in anxiety, performance anxiety. Before we go on stage, we're thinking, how's the gig going to go? How's the crowd going to react? Is the promoter going to be happy? Am I going to perform to the best of my ability? And I think the key is to get comfortable with these thoughts that come into your head. It's part of the process, really. And where we sometimes trip up is when we start trying to get rid of those thoughts, or we think, why am I having those thoughts? And I feel like the only way to really get comfortable with those thoughts is to share them, is to bring them out of your head and into the open. I recently started suffering with anxiety and I didn't know what to do about it. I knew that I couldn't do anything but music. Music and film is my thing, and I wanted to just continue to do that, but at the same time felt like I'd lost track of why I was doing what I was doing. And so I started reading about it and spoke to my GP about it, and he just said, you need to stop trying to get out of this lifestyle. He said, the lifestyle you have is your choice and you love it, and now you're starting to question it because you're getting older, you're starting to think, is this sensible? Should I actually be doing this? And my doctor said, just try and relax into the lifestyle that you have. And so he told me to just take myself a bit less seriously. Which is hard as well, because you don't want your art to not mean anything, but at the same time, if you're too attached to it, you do lose the meaning and then wonder what the hell you're doing.
I definitely didn't love what I was doing. It took me a long time to get back to actually thinking, okay, I need to stop doing the stuff that I'm not enjoying and really put more effort into the stuff that I want to do.
I do think that the more we share how we're feeling and how we're experiencing what we're doing, the easier it will be for other people to share. Like making this video right now, I feel like it's part of the process, sharing how I feel. I feel like it's helping me, and it can also maybe help other people.
Knowing that other people are going through exactly the same thing as you is actually comforting, and you realise that actually it's just normal to be, going through that.
If anything, for musicians, it's knowing that your music making does not define your self-worth, which is a thing which is really, really not talked about enough in institutions like music colleges, where that's a huge problem. So yes, you are wonderful. Music, non-music, you know, find what makes you tick outside of it as well.
You've got to find that perfect balance. Maybe there isn't a perfect balance, but you just got to know that what you're doing at the moment is right.
For me recently, I've realised that I need to look inside and find out what I think is success. Because when you're successful within yourself, you feel a lot more at ease with what you do, and you remember why you started doing what you do in the first place. It's a very competitive industry at times. But at the end of the day, we all started doing this because we love creating.
You're only really ever in kind of competition with yourself, and it's actually just about your journey.
So in conclusion, we really want people to start talking more about this. Everyone in the industry, I feel, needs to discuss this openly. So thanks for watching, and like I say, I really encourage people to share their stories. So even if you want to comment on this video, please do, or if you want to message us privately. I know that it's hard, and it's taken a lot of work for me to be able to sit in front of a camera and talk. I'm much more comfortable behind the camera, but I see such value and such importance in sharing that I kind of overcame that fear of talking to a camera so that I could share this video. But please do get in touch, and let's try and help musicians. Let's be there for each other, and let's support each other. And I really want to thank those musicians and the crew who took the time to speak to me at the recording session in May. Your input was invaluable, so thank you for sharing, and thank you for taking that step to be open about your feelings and about your experiences.